Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The DRF Bets race of the day for Wednesday, February the 7th is race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. And if you sign up to DRF Bets right now, you can access a $200 free bet with no deposit required. All you have to do is go to drf.com/join and use the promo code FREEBET09. Let's take a look at the field for race number 9 at Gulfstream on Wednesday, an optional claiming race for fillies and mares. Again, going 5 furlongs on the turf. And Matt, you can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. This is a really competitive group.
Yeah, it's interesting. You can go a number of ways in here. I think you're going to have a pretty fair pace, all things considered. May not be ballistic, but I think you're going to have every opportunity if you want to come from the back of the pack or you want to have a chance to wire the field.
We begin with the horse down towards the rail, 30-1 on the number 1 Miss Samarta horse, who's likely going to come from the back of the pack. She exits a race common to many of these runners where she was taken back, made one run, and passed a few tired horses. It was her best career Beyer speed figure performance by far, but you get the feeling she still has a way to come.
Yeah, she's the one coming out of that race that I just really have no interest in whatsoever. It's interesting for me. You go back, only 4 or 5 starts. She had some good speed at one point. Now she's completely gone. To me, that puts her way against it.
Conversely, the 2 Sound Defense might end up the speed of the speed, and the Timeform U.S. Pace Projector agrees with that assessment. They do have the 2 Sound Defense out there on the lead. Now, first off the claim last time out, she made the front. She was getting really tired, but it was her first start off the layoff, and it is worth noting that the last 2 times she went second off the layoff, she won.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to get a tighter version of her this time around. Whether or not you think she's good enough to win, that's entirely up to you. From a speed figure standpoint, I kind of know what I'm going to get. I'll probably get a 75 to a 78. Maybe it's good enough, maybe it's not.
I think Grace Appeal, the number 3, another horse going second off the layoff, certainly has reason to improve. She was even on December the 26th against some of these horses. She's run some nice races from a little bit closer to the pace. I wouldn't be surprised if the pace is moderate for the 5 furlongs. She can be where that 8 is.
I was going to say, and that's probably a more advantageous position than trying to work something out from mid-pack. You get Nick Juarez. I think this filly is nice. I think there's plenty of things to like about her. Second off the bench for De La Cerda. It is just one of those things where I look at it right now, to date anyway, I think she has 1 race on her page that makes her competitive. She's going to need to get back to that.
Boy, the number 4 Quality Time just had a miserable trip last time out. Please, you look at that line and you say, well, she was the beaten favorite, but when you watch the race, she never had a chance to run.
No, she never had a chance. She was stuck in behind horses, and finally, when it looked like Affilione was just following the pace setter who ended up backing up into her face, she got all sorts of bottled up, had nowhere to go, came out and actually came on with a run. Here's the problem. Everyone and their brother knows about the trip, and the 3-1 morning line, I'm going to be stunned if you get it. I think she's probably going to be 7-5.
And another issue I have is now it's 9 races in a row that she's lost. She's lost as the favorite in her last 3 races. And watching her at Laurel 3 back, the Gulfstream race 2 back, and of course last time out, she often finds trouble. She's also not the smoothest horse with her lead changes. She does have tactical speed, and boy, you get the feeling that if she got clear last time out, she wins, and if she runs her race here, she's probably going to win.
Well, at the very least, she comes close to Jumbie Bay, who jumped up in just a giant way for Pletcher. I kind of feel like you take Jumbie Bay out of the equation. I think she's very clearly the horse coming out of that race that is the most likely winner of this one, but you bring up a big point. I mean, some horses just find trouble.
The 5 Lonesome Palm will make her first start for trainer Ron Spatz, who's having a very nice meet at Gulfstream Park. Close to 20% wins for this meet. Last time out, dismissed as a 30-1 long shot, making her first start off a fairly substantial layoff, and she was just out-sprinted. She'd never been 5 furlongs before. I did like the way that she rallied in between horses to finish second behind favorite Sunny Sammy. Boy, I hope she can be a little bit closer to the pace because this is only start number 8. I think there's some upside.
Certainly. I see no reason to think that second off the bench she can't take a step forward. It would be nice to see her not get completely outrun early on. I think if there's a scenario where she can stay within sort of punching distance of those sort of pace setters and those leaders, then boy, you know that she's going to come with a kick. I think there's a lot to like here. She's the highest last out buyer in the field.
Wishfully scored last time out. It was a $35,000 maiden race, but she showed good tactical speed and she finished the deal once she was produced. Another horse with a lot of upside. She's going to have to deal, obviously, with tougher horses first time against winners. Do you think she can adapt to the likely faster pace scenario?
I think that's the biggest problem with these turf sprinters coming from maiden into facing winners, even if it may not be a stellar group of winners, is things just go so much faster early on, I think, than what many of these maidens or just now maiden breakers face. And I kind of feel like that could be the scenario with this filly here where, you know what, okay, she was up there on the pace throughout, and they did set fast fractions if you believe Timeform US. But boy, it's one thing to do that against horses that haven't won yet and still go on with it. It's another thing, what happens when those other girls don't stop? And I think that's really going to be the determining factor. To me, I want to watch one.
Unbridled Courage, good race, 2 starts back, 80 Beyer speed figure, inside out move, just out finished by Lonesome Palm. And last time out, it was a disappointing effort. I'm not really sure what happened. She just really did not pick up her feet.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I just don't want any part of her here. I acknowledge that her best race is more than capable of winning, but considering what we saw against Lonesome Palm 2 starts back, considering what we saw against a bunch of common foes last time, she's not for me.
Third back for the 8 April Rose, and I think that's a good sign in her form. She looked good at the beginning of the 2017 Gulfstream meet, then went to the sidelines for a long time. Last time out, she was in a little bit tight entering the turn. Of course, she didn't have the trouble the Quality Time had, but she was kind of all in with 5/16 to go. She finished evenly. The pace projector has her close to the pace. I would use this horse. I think she's solid, and I think she's rounding back to her best form.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I kind of feel like I know that she likes to win races as well. I mean, she's 4 of 14 lifetime. I think this third start off the bench, you know that she's clearly in good form. She's feeling good. They're going to continue on with it. You get Luis Saez, who just seems like anything he touches right now is a major contender, whether they're 30-1 or they're 3-5. I think she's another major player.
And completing the field is the number 9, Little Christina. We have not seen Little Christina since June. I would expect her to show fresh speed.
Yep.
Maybe she puts enough heat on the 2 and perhaps the 8 to set things up for a stalker closer. In her most recent start, the runner-up did come back to earn an 80 Beyer speed figure when finishing 3rd at Saratoga.
I think she's going to be a major factor in the race. I don't know that she's a major contender simply because off that layoff with the other speed to the inside, her best game is speed. I don't like how all that kind of sets up for her.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the DRF bets. Wednesday, race of the day. You're going with the 4 Quality Time, just hoping for a clear journey this time around.
Yeah, and you know, the problem is I kind of feel like this is going to be a horse that's overbet, whether she deserves to be in that 2-1, 9-5, 8-5 range or not. I think that's where she's going to end up. That trip, though, was miserable, and if she gets a little bit of a cleaner trip, maybe she's just simply better.
You're going 4, 8, 5, and 7 from a single race perspective. You mentioned that the 4 likely to be slightly overbet because of that trip. Is this more of a race where you're playing multiple race wagers? Are you keying Quality Time on top of exactas? How are you playing?
Well, in a double, if I can get a live to her and only to her, that would be great. But going forward with the rest of the sequences in there, I'm not afraid of using the 5 in this spot, Lonesome Palm, because I think she's going to offer some value. I think people will probably look at that and say maybe it's a one-off. And then also the 8. I just feel like the 8 is in too good form at this point. April Rose, 3rd start off the bench. Again, Saez at this point. Leave him off your ticket at your own risk.
I agree. I'm going 5, 8, 4, and 2. Lonesome Palm is 6-1 on the line. For me, though, this is more of a multiple race, sort of a spread where I would use the 5, I would use the 8, and I would also use the 4 Quality Time off that trip last time out. Again, if you are playing the Wednesday Gulfstream card from home, no better place than DRF Bets, because if you sign up right now, you access a $200 free bet, no deposit required at drf.com/join with the promo code FREEBET09. Approximate post time for the 9th at Gulfstream on Wednesday, 4:37 Eastern. Good luck.